Mo Lang Tin Chin. Hello everyone from Chi Nature's YouTube channel. This is GC Fu from Teenage Dragon's YouTube channel. As you know, I have been posting some of these Taoism and Taoist magic talk shows on this channel from time to time because I want to let people know that I actually have another channel, Teenage Dragon, on YouTube. So search that channel up or check out the link below and you can see my channel that is dedicated for these things. Now, if you're interested in learning Taoist magic and stuff, you can always visit our website and things to get started. But if you're interested in these kind of videos, go to my other channel and check it out. So this will be a surprise lecture video for you guys right here. So no matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter, because today I'm going to talk about the I Ching. So a lot of people will be interested in this thing because most of the time people understand this as a fortune telling kind of thing, okay? And well, I have to tell you that it's not only for fortune telling, okay? It can be for many things. What is the I Ching? The I basically is a way to analyze nature, and it's a pattern of nature. Basically, it's a pattern. Okay, so all these patterns is like, okay, things from start like this and it rolls and rolls and then go back to this stage. So it's basically a cycle of nature. In order to understand and learn the King, you will be totally like turn off, because look, you have so many different combination, 64 basic combination of these bagwa, or these symbols. Every one of them look like alien to you, and you'll be like, how the heck can I learn these things if I have to memorize the whole book and stuff, or always have a dictionary with me, you know, that kind of stuff. Usually one of these look like that. Okay? It looks like that kind of stuff. So you'll be having like 64 different combination. Maybe the other one is like this, and you're like totally, what the heck am I looking at? Okay, yeah, this is basically the problem, because a lot of people look at King from from the stage where you have 6 lines and you're totally lost, and basically a lot of people end up in flipping books. So to learn the King, the first thing is, okay, I'm going to tell you that in this lecture I might go on for like 1 hour, but yeah, 1 hour. Yeah, but I'm going to be sure that you will understand this thing very well, and you will understand how to read the basic King after this video. And first thing is, okay, you need to master this King, right? Okay, first thing, what do we do? Take your King book, okay, whatever book you have. Now this book, burn it. You don't need the book, okay? If anyone of you, okay, if you have to go to, let's say, a specialist, a master, who say they're King master, and they need to look at the book, you need to go away, okay? That's basically not the way to go. You don't need books. Even for newbies, you do not need books. Because why? Because first you need to understand some basics, and basically everything makes sense. Okay, so it's like a magical lessons right here. And you know, a lot of people will hate me because after one lesson you understand it already without even looking at the book. Wow. Okay, so first thing is, can this King be used for divination or fortune telling, that kind of stuff? Yes, it can be, just like anything can. I can use rice and stuff too, but the problem is, can you have the ability to do it? What is a divination? Okay, divination is not like a lottery pick. So, okay, here, let me show you. Prop. Here. Okay, I'm going to do a divination right now with a deck of cards. So, let's, you know, is this a divination to you? Okay. First, I'm going to like shuffle this thing a few times, okay, and then I'm going to like do some random shuffle, and then I pick out a card. Now this is my result, okay, and I'm going to pick 3 of them, okay, And after that, I'm going to shuffle 3 times. And I'm going to like, okay. After 3 times, the lucky number, I pick 3 more. Now I shuffle 3 times again. And then I pick out a few more. Okay, now this is my result. I'm going to decode it. Is this a divination? Of course it's not. Why? Because what you're doing is you're just randomly picking out stuff, and you have a little stupid formula about like how to pick. Okay, so you have a bunch of fancy monkey move before you actually pick out the result. And well, at the end, it's a random pick. Okay, it's a random pick with a lot of flowery movement in the beginning. So it's like, okay, now pick half and put this and here, and then like that kind of stuff. So no matter what you're doing, it's a random pick because you have no idea why you're doing it. And basically what you're doing is you really are just putting the thing at a random draw kind of situation. You can be having a bunch of papers inside a box and just draw one out. It's basically the same. Or we can do this, okay? Box of paper, bunch of random numbers paper inside, okay? We'll be doing 3 circle and then pick one out. 3 circle and then pick one out. It's the same, okay? It's basically random pick. Random pick is not a divination, okay? That's a game, okay? You can say it's a game. It's not a divination. Divination, okay, by definition right here, bagwa. What is bagwa? Cantonese, bagwa, okay? Bagwa is always, like, no matter what culture in the past, okay, only special people who are trained to do the job will be doing this. You don't just go to a place and buy a book and then you can do it yourself. It's not the method that you're missing. It's the cultivation that you're missing. Because why? Because bagwa is like this. I have a hole in the ground right now. I don't know how deep the hole is, and so I take a piece of rock or something, toss it inside, and I hear. When do I hear that echo bounce back? Equals to, oh, it's about that deep, right? So this is a way to test something that is unknown to you, and you want to put some medium into this thing and get a response back to get an estimation of what is actually inside. Let's say I cannot see the stuff inside the wall, so the basic divination right here is you go and then you listen to the sound, and the feedback that it gives you tells you is the wall inside solid or not solid, right? Very simple. You cannot see inside the wall. You don't want to break the wall, then you hear and you get it, right? So basically that's the bagwa. Bagwa is like this, like a testing method for testing the future. Now, in order to understand why the thing works, you need to understand what creates the future. So in our Taoism video, we already talked about it. Basically, it's the preheaven energies, which is like the nature's creation energy. Whatever you want to name it, okay? It's nature's energy. And this energy will affect you in many, 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 many ways. The most common thing is, okay, this energy, when it's around you, first of all, it gives you the urge or the sudden spark moment, like a feeling inside your heart. And this feeling can be like, oh shit, I need to eat. Or like, I don't feel good. I like this. It's like that, okay? There's always a feeling, okay? This is the feeling energy. And when you have feel for something, you can be very happy and end up with a nice ending, a nice event happening. You can be very mad and end up hitting people and bringing you disaster. This creation energy is like this heart energy inside you, this energy heart. And this energy heart can change everything because of your feel at the first moment. Let's say you're going to eat a nice fancy meal and your feel right now is bad. Okay, very down and gloomy. All of a sudden, everything in front of you don't taste good, even though they're good, right? And you will act differently, so everyone around will not be really happy with you. So if you're happy, like you feel good, you look at this, everything is good. Even today, we're just eating like a $5 burger. It's nice, okay? It's like that. well, your feeling energy is inside you, right? But in nature, there's also this energy floating around the air and stuff like that. And this energy creates or influence your future. And it's influencing you in many, many ways. So, the in short, okay, cutting it down short, divination is to first you need to know what you're going to do this divination for. Okay, so you need a event, a subject that is already started. Okay, you cannot like do, well, in the future 20 years I want to know, will I win the lottery? That doesn't work. Okay, divination, the first rule is it must be something that is already in process. Okay, something that has already happened, and that's why you do a div, because you don't know what's inside the thing, the potential inside. For example, you are going to a interview, right? Now you can div about this when your interview is set or before you do it, and you already got this call saying that, okay, you'll be going here. Then you do a divination. You don't do the divination, let's say, before you even decide where or which company to go for. Okay, like, oh, I'm going to do a job interview next 3 months, but I don't know which company I'm going to do yet. Let's do a divination. It doesn't work. Okay, you have to have a target destination in mind. Okay, first of all, you need to know where you're going. When you know where you're going, then like you know, okay, I'm going to go to 3 companies, and I'm going to go for this one. Okay, I want to check how my possibility from A, B, C company. That's fine. Okay, you can do a divination like this. Even though they have not called you and like tell you to come and do the interview, you can still div, because you already make up your mind to go to this route, this route, this route. Okay, once you set where you want to go, then you can do the divination, because the energy of your heart already beams out to this and this and this. So when you're doing the divination, you're doing a form of energy work to use a medium, be it playing card, rice, or one of these little Chinese coin, or your normal American coin, whatever is that. Okay, anything can be used. And what you're doing is using this tool, okay, to input your energy inside, and then you have to go through this heart energy beam to this subject, and it bounces back out as a result of whatever you see later on. So your heart, your mind must always have the proper mindset of you are really doing a divination. You cannot test, because if you're testing, or if your mindset is to verify, that it's always wrong, because your mind is not really 100% wanting to know what's in front of you, right? If your mind is like, oh, I did one, but I'm not sure, let's do it again, that is already not correct. It's very strict, because your mind inside, really deep inside, your mind is to verify. That's your goal. Your goal changed already. To verify. It doesn't work. Your mind have to be fully about, I want to know what is the potential of me going to this company, right? I already know my path going here. Okay, that's the only thing I want to know. Then this divination will work. If your mind is not sure and you want to check again, it's always a fail. So always divination must always be done seriously and not playing it like a game, because it's not the method that doesn't work. It's your mind power that is not connected. Now for us Taoists right here, we have Taoist magic, cultivation and stuff. When we do divination, we don't just use our power inside here. We use the power that we have on the altar and in the lineage. So these powers are the same kind of power that we talked about, this creation energy. And it's a lot stronger, a lot more precise and more cultivated and purified. So when we use these power from the lineage and stuff, we put it into the tool and we connect it to the subject. Now we do the divination and it will work very nicely, because not only the method is working, but the actual energy work is happening. Any random draw, whatever fancy method you're doing, the sticks or whatever, it's all a monkey show. Because you don't know what you're doing, you're just following a formula, and it's meaningless. It's just like a Jeopardy or a lottery pick. It doesn't do anything to your divination. Divination must be done with the right mindset, and also you need to understand the why you're doing this and such. Now, after about like this intro about the mindset of a divination and what a divination is, I think right now I should be very clear. A divination is for you to, first of all, you need to know where you're going, okay, and this event, and then you can check the potential right now at this moment, the potential of you or whatever into this event and what will come out at the end. Okay, so you're checking the potential. That means it's not a dead set answer. So potential can always change because potential is there and you can utilize it or not utilize it well. Potential only means that, oh, this is the most likely to happen according to whatever given right now, right? But you, at the end, is the decision maker. You can always choose to not use the potential, or if the potential is not bad or not so good, you can always choose to, okay, just go for it and I'll get more resources and stuff like that. You can always change it. So a divination is not like, oh, this is your destiny. You cannot change it. It's programmed for you. No, okay? You're wrong. Potential is always like a prediction. Like, okay, look outside. Okay, look outside. It's very gray and gloomy today, so there's a very high risk of having a rain and thunderstorm. Potential. It doesn't mean that it's supposed to rain. It's just most likely going to rain. It can be suddenly sunny and bright at the right after 2 minutes, and wow, where's my cloud? That can happen, right? So the potential is like that. Doing a divination is like watching the weather forecast. It gives you a good idea of what is ahead of you and what's most potentially like. But it is up to you to finally execute and see what really is going to happen and make your own decision. Now, watching that, you might think that, hey, that's pretty garbage. Just learn the thing and it's not even accurate. Well, look at the weather forecast. Okay? Yeah, sometimes you say the weather forecast is kind of like garbage. It's always not accurate. But if you don't have weather forecast, sometimes you really, really screw up. Okay? If you're going like to a camping trip, stuff like that, you don't look at the weather forecast in beforehand, well, you might be going there and a storm is coming and wow, okay? You might be going there and it's raining all the month and stuff and okay? So you need this kind of power to help you to get life more, you can say a secure feeling or help you to make decision. Okay? It's like looking at the weather forecast, it helps you to make decision. Now, let's get into the meat today, okay? The meat, which is to learn the I Ching and how to read it, okay? So now, enough introduction. Good. First lesson, or first section right now, is to understand the yum and the yang, the yin and yang. So, I'm not going to go into quotes, okay? I'm going to use some very nice example that everyone will like and understand. Okay. Okay, yum and yang. Yum and yang. Positive, negative, positive. Okay, but it's not really negative and positive. Now, what is yang? Yang is basically the party, like in one event. Yang is the party that output. Okay, yum is the party that absorb. Very simple. You never see this kind of explanation, right? Let me show you. Okay. Here goes a little Tai Chi diagram, okay? The white is the yang and the black is the yum, okay? So right now, it's the yum energy going down and the yang energy going up. So yang is like the positive, okay? But what is positive? Now we got to define this. White, why we use white and why we use black? There's a reason. Some people always know like, oh, it represents, but why does it represent? Okay? Because everything we use to analyze nature basically stick to two things: light and energy. It's always two things. Okay, this is the most original thing in the universe. It's light and energy. So light itself, color. When you see this color, white color, okay, and black color, it's actually a representative of the light. White light and black light. Okay, black meaning no light. Okay, so what this thing keeps coming up. Okay, so white, white energy. What is white light? Well, everyone that knows science understand. White is a light that contains all the colors. So white is a full, complete light color. And because of that, it doesn't need anything. White fully outputs. Okay? White energy, white yang is the full output. Output meaning like it gives off power, gives off everything, gives off. Okay? Because it have everything. So it starts to give off. Okay, the black. Black is the opposite of white. It doesn't have anything, so it absorbs. Very simple. So this is black, this is white. Okay, so white goes into the black, absorb. Okay, so white repels light, and when light and light add together, bang, it gets brighter. Look, demonstration time. Very simple. Okay, I have two flashlights. Okay, no strobe. Okay. This flashlight, light and light comes together. It gets brighter and brighter, right? Very simple. Okay. So basically, white fully output, black fully intakes. Very simple. Yum and yang. Yum is the negative. Okay, yum, yang, above. Yum. Yum yang. Okay, one give off its light and power. Okay, one intake absorb. Okay, very simple. So in any event, the first thing you want to know is which is the yum and which is the yang party. Now before that, I also want to introduce one thing. It's the sky and the ground. Okay, Tien Dei Yan, 3 stage: sky, ground, and human. Now this is not really human as in human being, okay? This is a pattern. So a pattern meaning like everything has 3 stages, three different parties, 3 stages, okay? So 3 things. Tien is where the resources come from. So this is the yang right here, the outputs. Now the Dei, the ground right here, absorb the stuff from the sky, and then come back out and something blossom out of the ground, which is the yan, the final stage. For example, okay, for example, you are going to a interview with Microsoft, something like that, and you want to get a job, okay? Now you want to do a divination and see how you're going to do, etc. Okay, I'm very nervous. Okay, so which is the yang, the sky, which is the yum, which is the ground? Very simple. Look, which party want to absorb? Which party want to absorb? Well, look at this. You go into Microsoft and interview, and then, ta-da, your job, right? So you are the element on top. You're the sky. You go into the Microsoft company to get interviewed and processed it right here. Now, what is the ta-da blossom stage at the end, which is the yan? See, that's the middle line. That's the balance between you and Microsoft, right? So obviously, the company is now the ground, and you are the sky. So you go into the company, get processed it, and ta-da, that's the final product. Okay, one more. You are going to get a date with a girl, something like that. Okay, you're going on a date with a girl. Okay, you want to. Let's do this. You want to do a proposal with this girl. Okay, you want to see if you can get married. Now, this is hard because 2 of them are human. So which one is the sky and which one is the ground? You or the lady? Who? Heart. Okay, first you got to understand who is going into who. When you get married, who go into who? Simpler, right? Simpler. Okay, so basically it depends who is the one going into another one. Who is the one going into the other one? The one that absorb, which is the one that absorb. Okay. First, you have the male and the female. When they get married, usually you see the female get absorbed into the male's family and become the wife of this male, right? So right now we have this male absorbing this in. Very simple, okay? And then the final product that but if we change this situation around, if we say let's say we look at the baby, okay? How's the baby going to turn out? Okay, if you do a divination about the male, female, and the baby, now that's different because the male now outputs the sperm into the male that contains it, and then a baby is born. You see, we're talking about female and male, and because the subject is different, the perspective between the both is not the same. You cannot always say, oh, the male is the sky, the male is yang, the female is the yin. That is already a very wrong way to interpret things with the yin and yang. Because we need to understand the exact, perfect definition right here. One outputs, one absorbs. And then after absorb, it blossom out to something. It gives birth to something. So you want to ask yourself, which party absorb? What goes into what, do something, and then come out, okay? Think about this pattern all the time. Okay, let me do another live demo. Just picking something random, a gun right here, okay? Okay, so this I want to div about how I'm going to do with my target shooting. So, okay? So, I want to know how's the shooting going to be. Now this is the event. I'm given a random magazine. I have my gun. Okay, I'm giving a random magazine. I want to go whoop and so this go into here and boom. You can div like that. Okay, this is the sky go into the ground, and so what's the outcome? You can do a divination like this. Very simple. And basically, you know, this is the output because I am putting this into here, and then they interact and boom. You can also do a divination, say, if I change the question, because right now my question is, I'm given a random magazine and I'm going to put it. So my intention is to div about how this magazine is going to bring me what kind of future, what kind of result. Then I'm not counting my body and my finger as one of the factor, right? But changing this thing around, if I have a gun in hand, I have my hand right here, okay? Now I want to know, if I pick this gun and shoot, how's the outcome going to be? Now that's very different. It is the gun going into my hand and get shot. So this is the team, okay? The sky, this is the ground. Combine and boom, what's the result? You see, different way you look at the problem or the question, everything change. If there's no absolute, because everything can be the proactive side or the responsive side depending on the situation. Let's say, okay, you will think, okay, in a family that who is the boss of the family? If there's like the father, mother, and the son, okay, you will automatically think that the son will not be the boss, of course. He will never be. You will think that the son will never be the one who will be the boss, you know, like in charge of anything, right? But think about it. If there's like, say, let's say a party or something like that, and now the son is actually in charge of this event, what happened? You don't know, right? Sometimes things can happen. So nothing is absolute. In this nature, you got to understand the real meaning of yum and yang, which the output party goes into one and get absorbed. Teen, day, yan. Okay, 3 stage. Teen, the sky, elements, resources, go into the day, the processing zone, processing area. After that, it blossom out to a final product, yan, which is the last stage, the final product. Remember, always ask yourself, which is the absorbing party. When you understand that, you will be able to understand the situation and how to look at the divination. Okay, let's give you one more example. One time you pick up a phone and there's a call, okay, a call, mysterious call, okay, you picked it up, and then you heard some weird noises and you dropped it, and then you're worried, you want to do a divination about your question is this a scam or something like that? Like, is this a bad idea, bad phone call, something like that? Okay, is it a bad thing or good thing? Whatever. Okay, you want to check, double check, because your mind is worried. So you want to check if this phone call is good or bad. So in this case, okay, the phone call comes out and attracted your attention to pick it up, right? So the phone call attracted you to pick it up, and the phone call gets you into action. So basically you got sucked in, right? You're just waiting, and then a phone call, dang dang, output, see, dang dang, output, and suck you in. Then, well, you pick up the call, meaning that you grab that phone call in and then you interact, right? And then you shut it. So basically the sky right now is the guy that called you, and then right here is the you that picked up the call, and as a result, okay, that's the final product. So you see these 3 stages all the time, right? Teen, day, yan. Resources go into process and output as final product. Okay. Understanding this will allow you to understand now what this means. Okay. Now we have 3 lines. This is the bagwa, okay, one of the bagwa, one of the 8, 10, whatever gram, like this, okay. So yeah, now you understand what it means, okay. It's telling you the factor of the top, the bottom, and the final product. Very simple. Okay. So basically, by looking at the bagwa, the 3 lines, you can understand 3 factors. How's the sky? How's the bottom, the ground, and the interact result? Okay, basically you get a little answer that tells you the condition between this. Now you got to understand the broken line and the non-broken line. Right here, this is the non-broken line, which is the yang, and this is the yum, broken. Okay, in the center, broken, disconnected. This is the yum, the negative. So, why is connected and not connected? Well, first of all, very easy. Let's talk about if you look at, let's say, human being. When we are born, okay, we have a cord connected to our mother, okay, inside. So this cord is connected. So you keep on growing, and you're en route to give birth, like en route to be born. Okay. Now, when you're disconnected, what happened? When you're disconnected, you can start to move, and you're going away from where you're from, and you're en route to death, right? You're en route to decrease. Okay. When you're connected, it's like cable. Okay, cable. Connected, it's charging, right? Stuff is charging in. So the power, the energy inside keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And as it goes down and pull, so it will go and consume. Very simple, okay? You can look at your electronics and stuff like that and know what's happening. Basically, right? Let's say a USB cable plug to a charger. Okay, charger charging. See, when you see yang, the one line, it means that it's connected, so it's always charging, getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, and more powerful. Okay, when it's disconnected, it means it's yum. So it's reducing, like this song is reducing. Let's say, okay, look outside the sky. Outside, okay? If you look up, you see the sky is raining today, okay? That is called yum tin in Chinese. Like, why yum? The same word, negative. Yum tin. Because yum, disconnected, meaning that the sky is now ready to give birth to things below. So when you see things from the sky going to go down the ground, detaching from the sky above, that's the yum stage. Because it's like, okay, now it's releasing, okay? It's going down, releasing. It's not charging up and growing anymore. As it rains, the stuff on top of the sky is decreasing, right? Because it's releasing all that water inside the cloud to go down. So when you see that the sky is raining, that's when the sky is in yin, is yum, going down, right? Things decreasing up there. Now when you see the sky is getting more and more sunny and bright and stuff, that is the yang stage up there. Because it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter and bright. See, it's increasing. The light up there is increasing, right? When you see outside, it's like all black and stuff, okay, at night. Well, it's always getting darker and darker. It's at the yin stage as well, because it's getting dark and decreasing in terms of its energy up there. So when you look at the ground, when it's yang stage, okay, the ground is growing and growing and growing in terms of its energy down there. So when the energy builds up on the ground, the yang energy will, like the yang stage, means the ground will blossom up and become like a power that charge things up from the ground and up. Just like if you have plants, flowers, and things like that, when the ground is in the yang stage, that is when the ground is charging up energy into these plants and things that connect the ground underground. And so it's a firepower that makes things happen and give birth to life. When the ground is in the yin stage, it keeps on reducing and reducing, breaking down and stuff like that. That is the time when the ground is actually absorbing and digesting and stuff like that. So it's not pumping up, but actually things sinking down. Okay, so that's two different things. Now at the final product, the line in the middle, okay, human. Now this is like human, but you can say it's a stage, okay, like a stage of a happening. The final product, the final line between the sky and the ground. Now this is the product, the final product, okay, the yang. Now when I am in my yang stage, I keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, when I'm yang, I keep getting bigger. It's like when I'm eating and consuming things in, it's getting bigger and bigger. So I keep on getting stronger, blossom, more powerful. Okay, like when I'm just very energetic right now. Okay, so many things is possible to happen, and I can do things very, very nice and lots of potential, right? But that is like when you're eating, you're intaking stuff, you keep getting bigger because you're intaking stuff, okay? Like you're eating, you're charging up yourself. But when you're disconnected, you're at the yin, negative stage, then you keep using up the stuff inside yourself. So it's like I'm good at running, that is yin. Why not good? I'm doing my exercise. I keep burning up the energy inside myself, that is yin. Okay, that is the negative too. I keep on doing homework. That is using up, because while you do things, okay, you are non-stop consuming the energy inside, burning up that fuel to do the work. No matter it's a physical work or just homework and stuff like that, you are non-stop using the stuff inside. Okay, so this center line, you have to look at yourself in order to understand. When it's yin, it's like, okay, things can start working. When it's yang, then you have a lot of potential filling in. It's not good or bad, it depends on the situation. Now, after understanding the Tin Dei Yan and the yin and yang of all three, okay, when you see the bagwa, usually in the I Ching, it's basically two different sets of these. Maybe here you have something like that on the bottom, okay? So the only thing that you need to learn in order to decode this combo is to understand that this on top and this on the bottom is basically the post and the pre and post heaven 3 line. It's usually you can say it's like the before happening potentials and stuff on top, and right here is the process in process when things is like really started, then what is most likely to happen, etc. Usually it's really the two, okay? But in order to start, you cannot learn the whole I Ching right now because you lack a lot of knowledge, but you can use just one set and you can understand two. Okay, so if you have the power to do the divination, for example, you're a disciple of our lineage, then you can use the lineage cultivated energy, the magic power, to do the divination with the method that I'm going to teach in the lineage. And basically, when you do the divination, then decoding this thing is very easy. For example, okay, example time. I want to div about what am I gonna div? Okay. I got a client. He wanted to do a divination. He have a girlfriend. Okay, to be. Yeah, girlfriend to be. Okay, so he want me to do a div to see how he and she go into a date and the result, okay, what it's like, etc. So now, first of all, which is the sky and which is the ground? We got to understand the situation, because look, we have a female and a male, and we're talking about a date. So both can be actually the proactive side. It depends. But right now, at this moment, this male client asked me to do a divination on this woman because he want to ask her to go out, right? So he is the proactive side. He is the side that output his intention, and the lady will pick up the phone or something and say, okay, yes, I accept. See, she absorbed this intention, process it, and give him a feedback. Okay? So now we set the sky and the ground. That's the first step. So obviously the male is the sky and the female is the ground, right? And the result is, okay, that love and whatever, okay? How's the result going to be? That's the middle line. So let's say we do a divination right now, live, okay? Live demonstration. Okay, just a minute. Erase this thing. Okay, so I did a divination and boop! Okay, I got my divination right now done, and I got something like this. Okay, done. Very fast. So I got a divination result. Now this is, the top is yang, bottom and middle is yin. Okay. So the top is yang, which is the male, right? Now he's in the yang stage. So he is not releasing anything to the ground. He is exposing his power, just like a bright sun in the sky. Okay? He is like a bright sun in the sky, and he keeps growing. He don't decrease. So that can, if we're talking about the case like he is going to a date with her and then result in whatever. So he is like a bright sky in this situation, with a bright sunshine and stuff. So you can say he's attractive, and he is like to the lady, he's attractive, but the lady is not really absorbing him and stuff like that right now at this moment because it's not raining, right? So right now he's attractive and his power is outputting, so he is actually doing his job well. And okay, so let's see the lady. Lady is the yin, okay, yin stage. Now the lady that's the problem. The lady is in the absorbing stage and not at the stage of giving, like the yang, giving birth to this middle line. So that means the lady is still absorbing the light from this male, like it's like the ground absorbing the heat from the sun. Okay, it's building up its internal energy right now, but it's absorbing. It's still in the first stage, absorbing. Okay, she have not come to a conclusion yet, because if she have a conclusion or something, okay, she might be at the yang stage, which means she will pump back up and give energy to give it a launching power to make it happen. But at this moment, she is not. She is still absorbing, consuming in and stuff. So meaning that she still have not consumed or absorbed enough element from him at this moment, and he is not pouring down any rain. So the problem is, okay, the final stage is yin, so the result is like yin, not yang. So the result is decreasing, and it's not a positive growing kind of result. Okay, so it's getting less and less and less. So meaning that the potential right here is not very good. In order to fix the problem, the male have to be more proactive to give her something that she can intake in order for her to feel. So maybe like, okay, buy her a gift, take her to something to eat, but make it yourself. Don't just give money. Okay, make it yourself. You need to output more in order for her to take enough, and so that the lower bar here will be yang. When she's at the yang, it means she have the urge to push up and make it blossom. But before that, she's always in the sit and wait stage. Okay, so this result means that she is at this moment not very sure and still kind of judging and stuff like that. So more work to be done. Okay, next stage, next divination. I'll do a few just to show you how easy it is. Basically 6 lines, 3 lines, 9 lines. It's basically the same idea. So yeah, let's go. Whoo! Next stage. Next question. Let me think. Okay, I got a client. He want to buy a house. Okay, and this client want to see, is this house good for him? And he want to do a divination. Very, very typical divination. I got this kind of question all the time. So the client want to buy a house, and he want to ask, is the house going to bring him good stuff? So he go into the house and then sleep and stuff and output to the luck, right, to the future. So basically right now, let's do a divination. I'm going to do some fancy monkey moves. So you go like that, and basically I got a divination. Okay, okay, and then now I'm going to get my result. Okay, that's my result. So I got a yang, and yin. Okay, so this is the person goes into the house. Okay, and then output to what? Basically, that's the question. Okay, so he want to buy a house, and so he want to ask, how is it going to be like? Now the question is obviously he go into the house to live, right? So the house consume him. He don't consume the house. Okay, so yeah, so the house is the ground and he's the sky, and output to whatever luck, whatever future. Okay, so he is now at the yang stage. So he is outputting his light. Okay, he is outputting his power, his light, and he's growing. So at this moment, he seems very positive. At this moment, okay, he is non-stop growing, meaning that he might. At this moment, he might be very like having a very good feeling, okay, at this moment, this guy, because this is like when his energy keeps growing bigger and bigger. So at this moment, you can say his energy is growing bigger, and he's going to have a nice future at this moment. Okay, now the house. Okay, at this moment he's happy. The house is yin, absorbing. So the house, when he go in, the house absorb his light and output to a yang, to a growing future. So the house is a good match with him, meaning that the house will contain his light, will consume him nicely and give birth to a nice future that will grow bigger and bigger instead of a yin future. Okay, a yin future can be also good depending on what you're talking about. But right here, the yang future means he will grow big. So if he go into the house, he will grow big. That's basically the divination result, right? Very simple. Now, when will a yin at the middle line, like let's say this one, how will it be a good situation to have a yin, okay, broken line in the middle as the result? Well, it depends what we're talking about. Let's say you got a lawsuit, okay? You got a lawsuit. And we're going to div about this lawsuit. Broken again. Okay, so you are having a lawsuit. You got sued by something, okay? You got sued by a company. ABC company sue you. Okay. So, let's do a divination. You want to ask how's the lawsuit going to be for you, okay? So, lawsuit, you and okay, so middle line have to be a negative. So here, now at the top and bottom, let's say negative and positive. Okay, good. Random. So which is the sky and what is the ground? Obviously, you go into the lawsuit because you got sued, right? So you go into the lawsuit and what's happening out. So you lawsuit and the result. Okay, so you are the yin, the negative right here. So you are definitely decreasing stuff. So you're losing a lot of money and stuff to the ground. Okay, at this moment, it's like you're raining. So your resources, a lot of your resources is going into the ground. Now the ground is in the yang situation. So it's burning up your resources and giving birth to the final result. So this is actually giving a lot of power to the center line. But what is the center line? Is the thing. The center line right here is negative. It's the broken line, meaning that it's decreasing for you. So if you are in a lawsuit and the lawsuit decrease, meaning that you're not going to keep growing bigger and bigger problem, right? So the lawsuit is going to decrease. It's going to die off, meaning that your resources going into the lawsuit is pushing everything to a nice ending very soon. So the lawsuit is not going to go bigger and bigger. It's actually going to go down and decrease and die off. That is a good symbol to get for lawsuit, right? Because you see the result is a negative, meaning that it's going to die off soon. Very nice. If this is yang right now, okay? If this is now a yang symbol, meaning that it's giving a lot of power for things to get to the yang side, meaning to get bigger and bigger. So the lawsuit later on is like, okay, you spent a lot of money, and then the lawsuit is going to consume your money and keep pushing this whole thing to a disaster, because the lawsuit get even worse and worse and worse and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Wow, not good, right? Okay, so basically, that is how the divination is done, is interpreted and decoded. For me, basically this is like ABC and stuff, and you do not need a book. So when you do a divination, sometimes we know the 6-line version, right? So when you toss the stuff, you can actually write it in left and right like this, okay? So this actually means this is on the bottom, okay, like this. Usually it's like this, but you put this to the right side and look at it as in two symbol, okay? This one the top, which is the left side, okay, is the pre-heaven, and the right side, which is the bottom, is the post-heaven. So the same way of decoding the situation, but one side is, the left side is about the potential, and this is a prediction about what happened when you take the action according to the potential right now. Let's say, okay, this example, okay, actually, you know what, let's do a new example and I'll decode the 6th line to let you see, okay. The hardest part is to think of example because I don't prep for this thing. So what example should I use? Oh, I get it. Okay. A family is going to have a camping trip. Okay, camping trip. So yeah, this family is going to have a camping trip, and they want to div about the trip to see how it's going to be like. Okay, very vague, but anyway. So the family go into the ground, which is the camping trip. Okay, and then output to what? Okay, so family it's the sky, ground is the trip, the camping trip, and then output the result. So right now we have, let's do some fancy move, and we will be getting a result soon. Okay, result, come on. Okay, result. Okay, result like this. Okay, that's the I Ching, the 6th line symbol that we got. So I'm now going to erase this and then go left and right version. Okay, so you can see it easier. So, okay, eraser. Okay. Now we got a left and the right. Okay, 6th line. The left side is what we call the pre-heaven. This is the post-heaven. So this is a prediction as of today at this moment, given all these factors, whatever in the air. Okay, this is the result. The first 3 lines tells me that before I go, how it's going to be like, and then after I go, how it's going to be like afterward, etc. So pre-heaven right now. Let me repeat. The family goes into the camping trip and the result. Okay, so the pre-heaven side. Let's decode this one. Okay, the family is at the yang stage at this moment. So they are actually growing bigger and bigger. So everyone is very happy about it at this moment. And they're preparing at this moment because they're not at the yin stage. So they didn't go into the ground yet, right? Nothing's going into the ground. So they're now all building up the hype inside at this moment, but they're not going to be like really go into, like put things into the camping trip yet. So they're at this stage where they're building up the hype and everything is growing bigger. So it's a nice start. The camping trip is at the at the yin stage, broken line. Okay, so the camping trip is absorbing. It's absorbing their light, absorbing the family into the ground, which means that the camping trip is very attractive to the family. So the family right now is for sure very happy, but the camping trip is not giving any energy up to the 3rd line. Now this at the 3rd line is a yang stage. Okay, so the camping trip itself is not pushing the family's power to the happy ending, but the ending or the result is pretty good. So it's growing bigger and bigger. So if this is explaining about the pre-heaven, it's saying that before the trip happened, before they actually go in, like at this moment, okay, everything looks very good. Okay, the trip is nice, attractive, the people is happy, and the trip is at the yang stage. So the trip is actually looking better and better and better for the family. So after they go into the trip, what will happen is when they actually moved and start to go to the trip, this is what's going to happen. So everyone is still at the yang stage, which is a very happy stage, high and pumping. The camping trip is also absorbing. but at the end is in the yin stage. Okay, so the camping trip itself is not pushing things to blossom. So the camping trip itself is not really good at this moment. But it's absorbing, it's attractive for the family, but it's not really pushing the family's happiness to the final result, the final happy ending. Now, at the end right here, the result right here is the yin stage decreasing. So decreasing, yin, going down, dying off. Not very happy. Something might be not really good. So you can see the camping trip itself is not really helping, but the family is happy and stuff. So in this stage, you can say most likely is because the something in the trip might be not really working as what the family wanted, and so that at the end the result is a more tiring or a more exhausting kind of not very happy, that kind of result. Because when you see the third line, the middle line is like the this one, okay, the middle line right here, okay, right now it's a negative. So that means after they go in the trip, the result is negative. Negative means right here means that it's not, it's like it's when you're using up your resources, very tiring, burning off, dying out, not very blossoming, right? So the camping trip is a very exhausting, not very good, maybe very tiring kind of trip. If the that line is, if it's a yang, a positive, then it means that the result is going to be very happy, growing, and it will make the family want to have the next trip. But right now, not really. So there's no potential for the next trip at this moment when you can see it. Okay, so right now, what to tell this family? Well, you can tell the family that well, the trip itself looks attractive, but it will turn out to be a very tiring and a very exhausting kind of trip. You are very hyped from the beginning to the end, so you're still happy, but the trip itself might not be the best choice. You might want to change this by, okay, let's make this negative, okay? So if I make the family a negative right now, that means when the family put more resources into the trip, okay? So let's say the family is now at negative spot. So family keeps on putting things into the trip. Maybe like, okay, family buy more gears, buy more tools, buy more fun things to play at the trip. When they keep putting in more elements into the trip, okay, the trip will absorb more, which in return, when you add more negative to the negative, it builds up the pressure and turn it into a positive. So it will boost up right here and make this a positive at the end. So right now you can say the family is very hyped, but they have not invested enough into the camping trip. They will need to put more money and things into the trip in order for the trip to be better. That's at least the basic outline right now, the basic, okay, outline. And you can see that how the 64 combination of these 6 lines can be interpreted. Okay, so basically today you have seen how easy it is, and you really do not need a book to understand the whole I Ching. I expect that you guys will be very clouded and brain fried, and you don't really understand everything yet. Don't worry, go to my other channel, Tina Dragon's YouTube channel, to watch more lectures, or the best way is learn directly from me. So go to my website or email me to get started in learning. You can learn these things, and it's basically one of our ABC stuff when we learn Taoism, Taoist magic. Remember, at the end, I want to really emphasize again, okay? Divination is not like, oh, I div and this is my future. This is the most likely to be. This is the potential, okay? So you can always make use of the potential to your best whatever possible, and you will have a nice future as well. So it's not like it's a set program life. It is basically for you to get an estimation, a prediction, to be prepared for what's coming up, most likely to come up. Outside right now it's like gloomy, dark sky. I will bring umbrella or raincoat just in case, right? Now it looks like there might be a power outage soon. I'll bring a flashlight just in case. You see, even it doesn't rain, you don't have to say it's not accurate, because nature is like that. Nothing can be set dead on and like never going to change, right? Nature change all the time, and whatever move you're doing, it will change. The longer you wait, the more changes there is. So if you do a divination today and this thing is going to happen, let's say 3 months later, there's a lot of time for you to change what's going to happen, neither good or the bad way. If you do a divination today for think tomorrow, it will have a much less time for you to change whatever is coming up, right? So divination is best to do and like to div when you first feel the urge to do the divination. Like don't sit down and then think about what you want to div, because it doesn't work that way. Usually is when you have the urge inside, meaning that your heart energy is already in a very pump state and it's sparked, and that is a time when you grab that thing and start doing the divination. It will be the most accurate and the most nice timing to do the divination. Now at the end, how do you do, like what's the method of doing it? Well, I know it's very complex to learn all that crazy method. So right here, I'll tell you one method that you can try right away. Okay, take 3 coins and then think. Okay, with just a minute. Both hand clamping the coin right here. Okay, and then you will right here. Okay, close your eyes and put the coin at the chest right here, and then you think about the question that you want to ask. Always start with like, okay, I have this question and I want to ask about da da da. Clearly state your question. For example, I'm now going to go to a date with someone. I want to know how the result's going to be. After you're done, okay, remember when you do this, always close your eyes and say it in your mind. Don't open your mouth. Don't listen to outside. Okay, focus right here. After you're done, go up here at the forehead. Okay, now here you can input all the thinking, all the thoughts you have that relate to this event. For example, think about the person, think about what you want to do later, da, da, da. All the details you want to put to add in, you think and here into the hand. Okay, right here. After you're done, pull out 1, 2, 3 times. Hammer it in. Now, this energy go in here with all the details, and this is the question of where you want to go, right? Now, you take this and then bang the chest and toss it out. When you toss it out, okay, like that, toss it out on the table, okay? First of all, you are the teen, you are the giving. This is the absorbing party, opposite of you, right? So you have to find the furthest coin and put it to your side. That's the number 1, okay? That's the day. And then the center, and then the last one. Why do you find the furthest coin? Because that is the ground, right? You're the teen, this is the ground. You output to this side, right? So basically, you want to find the ground, and now when you flip it over, you see the bottom coin that you have is the lowest line, and the top is basically the first coin. The middle is the middle line. Okay, so basically that's how it works. How do you set which face of the coin is yin or yang? Very simple. Any coin, any coin, okay, which is the giving and which is the absorbing side. Usually a normal dollar, normal money coin, one side is like the country and one side is the money, okay? So country give power to the currency. So the country, the head side is always the yang, and the money side, how much money, is always the yin, because that is the absorbing, the final. Okay, so this is output power. This is absorb power and became this dollar. Okay, so basically you find two sides, which is the power, the authority side, that's the yang. The other side is the yin. Very simple. So when you do it with 3 coins, okay, think, and then one toss, instantly you got one result, and you can use the same thing to do the divination. Now, if you're going for the 6-line method, then the simple way is basically to do one toss for one line, and basically if the toss is like, this is more complex. I may do it in the future, but yeah, basically it's 1, 2, 3 toss, and then in the 3 toss you will have different variation, which will tell you the post heaven is neither this the same or it needs to be changed. So this is a more complex way to div, but basically today I just want to talk about how easy it is to decode everything without a damn book, and also to understand what is divination. Divination is not a random lottery pick. Okay, no matter how fancy, how many monkey moves you do with the pick and the sticks and stuff, it's all bullshit, because you don't know what you're doing and you have no energy work going on. The whole thing that is legit about divination is not the method, it's the energy work that is actually going to happen. If you don't understand this, the whole thing is a clown activity. It's just nothing. It's really not going to work, okay? So understand this, and I hope you like it. Check out my other channel. So we'll see you next time. Remember to subscribe, like, support us on Patreon, and